Yo, guess who's back? What's going on? A-pluses, nerd mixes out there. It is your boy, Indy Uchiha. And do I got something special for you? You know that we rock with Guerrilla Publishing hard. And I told you, that they not going to stop. This is a big year for them. They got a lot going on. And I really can't wait to show you what's happening here. You heard the bells, so you know it has something to do with fighting in ring. Y'all know how I get about boxing, wrestling. I'm a fanatic. So, you know, without further ado, I want to bring these two brothers in. Man, what we're getting ready to show you is going to be amazing. I love the fact that I get a chance to be a part of this, to help this out. Anything they ever need, you know how we do over here at A+, we show love. So without further ado, let's bring them in and see what's going on. What's cracking?
Hey.
What's cracking?
What's happening?
How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good. Hal, that was a great intro.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that intro.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I get hyped for stuff like this. One thing, I'm real big into independence. We're an independent podcast, independent publishing, all from the area, Midwestern, you know, from Indiana. I stay in Wisconsin now. So we'll never be a Green Bay fan, but I stay in Wisconsin now.
Yeah.
So you know how we do. So I see you guys got something going on, but first, members of Guerrilla Publishing.
Yeah. So we started off as Tyler. This is Dylan, and we are two of the three writers, co-creators of Motor City Mo with our best friend Kyle Esper, who Dylan grew up with him. I've known him for a long time. I'm slightly older than Dylan and Kyle, but way more handsome and taller. But no
one believes it.
So we started off with we were three Wiseman Media, self-publishing Motor City Mo, and then we partnered with Guerrilla Publishing for the last two installments essentially of Motor City Mo, and to try to get the book into to more places other than just Michigan,
right.
Even though it's Motor City. So yeah, we partnered with Guerrilla Publishing. It's been great so far. They're partnered with us on this Kickstarter, and yeah, man, we're just excited.
Okay, I can dig that. Now, Motor City, Detroit, the home of vroom vroom. Like I'm telling you, going there, I've been to Detroit once, and I love Detroit. I went to Detroit driving a Chevy Cobalt. I left driving a Ford F-150.
Yep.
And now I'm driving a Dodge Charger. It's like I keep putting more muscle in, and it's all because of the one trip I took to Detroit. Now, Motor City Mo, tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea and exactly what's it about.
Sure. So, I mean, you mentioned that you're a wrestling fan as well as a boxing fan. So, I mean, Motor City Mo is like a conglomeration of basically every pop culture type of influence that we've had in our lives. So there's a little pro wrestling in there. There's obviously a little boxing, little Goodfellas, little Rocky, little Quentin Tarantino, all, within the comic book medium, that I grew up in the boom period of comic books where you had, all the Image comics and, the big split off there and Spawn, and everything was such a big deal, all the variant covers and stuff like that. So that's where Motor City Mo comes from. And I mean, Dylan, specifically, you have a story.
Yeah. So me and Kyle, who's not here, we've always done like little projects together. There's Grover. And like we used to make movies. We'd like write little short stories, stuff like that. And then one day I don't remember which one of us. It was probably him because he's usually the good idea guy. And he was like, "Hey, one thing we've never done is let's try to write a comic." And we're like, "All right." And so we just sat down, like came up with a bunch of characters. We were getting nowhere, so we had to rope this guy in, his big old brain. And I came up with this character loosely inspired by Mick Foley. This character that you could beat the crap out of him. He could take a licking and keep on ticking. A guy who couldn't really beat you like Superman would beat you, but he'd just outlast, he'd weather everything, and you just couldn't keep him down. And that's kind of what evolved into Motor City Mo.
Okay, okay. I can definitely get that. I like that concept. So, amalgamation of everything that inspired you, and then you just put it into, you know what I'm saying, your own special sauce. You know what I'm saying, to
Exactly.
mix it up. So you said that you were self-published at first, and it was just around the Detroit area. What made you partner with somebody like Guerrilla Publishing in order to try to spread it out? Because I'm starting to see, like, I don't know what is it about those guys and the way that they do things. They seem to just draw people in, you know?
Right. Well, we met Kyle's sister Ashley, who you know, had
Mhm.
been working with Gorilla for a little while, and basically introduced us at a comic convention to Julio.
Yeah.
So we got to talk to Julio. We had him and Ben on to do one of our like little YouTube videos that we do, and just from there, you know, we were like, these guys are cool. We'd love to work with them. And that's sort of how the partnership started. It starts from being cool guys and good dudes, and then, you know, I think everything sort of falls into place from there.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think I met Julio at a comic store, Creative Comics in Griffith. Like one random time they were there. I went up there to go pick up my weekly comics, and then it's been love ever since then.
Yeah, right.
Like
Yeah,
he talked.
they're great. You know,
Phenomenal people.
yeah, they're great dudes, you know, fun to talk to, and you know, so it's been cool getting this Kickstarter off the ground with them.
All right, definitely. So going into by now, you guys, especially here on Hero Report, you know what Kickstarters are and how they work. All right, we've been here a couple of times. So what's unique about this Kickstarter for Motor City?
So this one is actually the book is actually complete. So there's a version of episode 4 that's out there right now, but it's a very exclusive. You're probably only going to be able to get it in Michigan, to be quite honest, because it's a very specific cover. We've partnered with a local comic book store,
Nine Planets Comics.
Nine Planets Comics and Collectibles in Dearborn Heights, where you know, they feature prominently on the cover, but it's only available in their store, and it's only available if you come see us directly at a con. So what we're doing here is we're just punching the wide release over the finish line with this book. So you know, you're gonna see a different cover for this book that isn't currently available, and then of course the prizes, right? So I mean, or the rewards. They're not really prizes. You got to win prizes. Rewards. You earn. You earn rewards. So you've got like a very exclusive T-shirt design, which is is basically the cover of the book that you see there. It's like an homage to Muhammad Ali knocking out Sonny Liston, and you know, the big standing over him, so that you can only get that through the Kickstarter. Tons of exclusive magnets, buttons, posters, and then you can even get that variant comic if you did want that, as well as the wide release version of episode 4. So quite a few things that make this one stand out. This is our 4th Kickstarter. The other 3 were successful. This is our first one with Guerrilla, so we're just excited to see how it goes, and hopefully we get some support for it.
Okay. I'm really interested in this. I'm actually on the Kickstarter page right now.
Cool.
Looking here, loving the different rewards and stuff that you guys got. This $100 tier right here is calling my name. It is calling my name. That shirt is amazing, man.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that shirt is amazing. Like I need it. I have this weird thing about collecting t-shirts. Like I need that shirt. But who, like, this is one thing I never asked me about Kickstarters. How do you guys come up with the rewards?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. I feel like there's like just rewards that like you use.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously shirts and all that, super easy. Honestly, Kyle would be the better person to ask that question. He's more the organizational of the group of us, because he had Kickstarter figured out from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, I think bottom line is you got to get stuff that people want, right? Like, so you can't be just giving people, you know, if they're going to spend hard-earned money and help you out with your Kickstarter, then you got to make it worth their while, you know. And I would love, you know, I think the book is a really good reward in and of itself. I'm proud of the story that we're telling, but there's no reason that if you're dropping $20 to help us with the Kickstarter, that, you know, we can't throw in some bells and whistles to make it even more worth your while. You know what I mean? So, it really starts with, well, what do people want? And a lot of it is, you know, like we were saying, like those exclusive t-shirts, exclusive designs that you can only get through the Kickstarter that you're not going to get if you go to our TeePublic store or whatever else.
Right. I mean, dude, this is an amazing package. Not like everything that they seems that Guerrilla Publishing gets behind. Ashley had an amazing package on, you know, like the original Kickstarter they did to jump it off. Everything was real dope. Everything felt exclusive. And this is what actually makes people want to buy, you know what I'm saying, put in money, not only to support something that they love, because from what I checked out and from the people I talked to, these are incredible comics. Like, it's incredible stories, something that's very entertaining. I'm a huge comic book fan. I'm an avid manga reader.
Okay.
So like I'm constantly reading, constantly watching wrestling. And this fits right into it. This to me, it feels like I got an artist that I work with called Syndrome True Show, and who recently just survived being hit by a train. Like, he had his car totaled, came out like unscathed, like unbreakable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like it was that movie. And just looking at the cover, it makes me feel like this song that he wrote right after it called Strongman. Like, you know, like nothing's gonna stop me type deal. And I feel like just looking from the cover, I feel like anybody could get something, you know what I'm saying, out of this. It doesn't matter what you're into. You look at this and somebody can get inspired in some way just by looking at the cover. So amazing job.
Well, thank you very much. And I mean, I think that's sort of what we aimed for, is because, you know, I think everybody sits around and is like, you know, you have the stuff that you love, the comic books you love, the wrestling that you love, the movies that you love, but then you come across, you know, some other things and you're like, you know, they should have did it this way, or they could have done it that way. And instead of, you know, sitting there and saying that, we were like, well, let's make the thing that we want to see. So exactly what you're saying. Like, I hope that there's, you know, we tried to sprinkle enough in there so that it definitely, you know, hopefully appeals to a lot of people. So we've gotten good feedback on it so far. So we're definitely happy with it.
Well, I can't wait to get my hands on it and read it myself. So like, as soon as we get off of here, I'm going to kick it. You know what I'm saying? Like Messi, I'm kicking the mess out of it. So yeah, that's really cool. So where are you guys going after this? Like, do you already have the next comic plan that you're getting ready to do? I mean, you don't have to spill no trade secrets or nothing like that. But I mean, is there another Motor City coming, or are you guys gonna try something different?
100%. So this is actually the penultimate book. So there's only going to be 5 books in the Motor City Mo story, and then we're moving. And then Motor City Mo, we don't know if it's going to be a sequel or if we're just moving on completely.
Right.
From the character, but there's a definitive end to this story, and it comes in the 5th book. So you're only getting 5 books out of Motor City Mo. So this is the one before the grand finale. So if you've gotten the other 3, you definitely want to get your hands on this one, because this is going to set up the big finale that's going to come when we release book 5, and then that's it. So, you know, then that's the end of is it the end of Motor City Mo, or is it the
end of this story?
It's the end of this story. So
Okay.
Yeah, we know where it's going for sure.
Oh, so Dragon Ball, and then there might be a Dragon Ball Z. And then if that does well, we'll skip GT and go straight to Super.
Exactly.
All right, definitely. I get it, man. I appreciate y'all. So fans of boxing, fans of wrestling. So I can't leave, because we have fans on this channel of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the home of nerd and geek pop culture. So we cover everything. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. You know what I'm saying? Don't take too long. Just whatever comes to your head. All right.
All right.
Favorite boxer?
Oh, Mike Tyson for me. Like, without a doubt,
Mike Tyson. Yeah.
I mean, for me,
I'm Muhammad Ali.
Well, of course, but I really like Tyson Fury. I mean, to come back from being so out of shape, and then all of a sudden you're top of the world again. That's great. And then I, can't be remiss without mentioning Deontay Wilder and Clarissa Shields. So, those are Michigan products right there.
Is a monster. Clarissa Shields. I think the Clarissa Shields I think there's a fighter, female fighter from Gary, Indiana. I think that's trying to fight Clarissa Shields.
Oh, okay.
And I'm waiting on that to see if that happens, or she might have already fought her. I don't remember. I feel like I'm getting old. I feel like my head's been rattled a couple of times in the ring, so I don't remember.
I feel that.
Favorite, and we're gonna do like favorite. I gotta do this two different ways. Favorite sports entertainer when it comes to wrestling.
Oh, that's easy for me.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy. Well, I mean,
you go first this time.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho for you.
Chris Jericho was I was the exact market at the time WWF wanted. Love the baby faces, never always booing the bad guys, and then Chris Jericho debuted, and it was start of a love story.
Just messed your whole good and evil thing up. It was just I like him. I don't care what he does.
Exactly. See, I grew up 1986. I was born. One of my first ever wrestling memories, and obviously I wasn't there because it happened, I think, like before I was born. But WrestleMania 3, Hogan slamming Andre the Giant is like one of my very first pro wrestling memories. So I gotta say, Hulk Hogan. I'm still a Hulkamaniac to this day.
You know what's crazy is that you know how I know your fans, because I said sports entertainer. You know the difference between sports entertainer and the next question I'm finna ask you.
Yeah,
your favorite professional wrestler.
You start this off.
Ever?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be Flair.
Okay.
Flair, maybe. It's got to be Flair for me.
Flair for you. Interesting. Man, that's, oh gosh. Because there's so many. I mean, Bret Hart had some of the most realistic selling and like the most realistic wasn't the strikes.
Wasn't the showman I know we're saying pro wrestler, but didn't have the charisma Flair did.
But the technical and like Bret Hart like really made it feel like a real wrestling match. So I would probably go Bret Hart, but I bet who I think combined everything the best? It was probably Randy Savage.
Yeah.
If you look at a Randy Savage lockup and like the way he would deliver the knee and get the guy out of the ring and even just coming off that top rope and then mix it with, the oh yes and being the showman that he was, I think that he puts it together the absolute best. Oh, Ricky Steamboat. Now that I was
going to throw Steamboat in there.
Steamboat's got to be in there too.
I definitely get you. Me personally, I'm a little more modern when it comes to it. My favorite sports entertainer for me is, man, I'm gonna catch so much heat for this, but I'm sorry, it's The Miz.
Oh, I love The Miz.
The Miz is just doing something to me that is classic. You know what I'm saying? He's just got that. He's got that thing. He does just enough in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna be around forever.
Yeah,
super safe. Rarely ever gets hurt. And it's just entertaining in almost anything he does. My favorite wrestler, the God, Kenny Omega. Just the run he's been on the last 10 years. I can't. If he comes back from these injuries and keeps going at the pace he does, he might go down as the best wrestler. You know what I'm saying, to me, of all time. He's just proven to me things he can do.
I mean, if we're talking modern, you're hurting me a little bit because I'm an Okada guy.
Yeah, I mean, Forbidden Door. I don't think he's gonna be back for that. You know what I'm saying? I think he's got another surgery he got to do. But hey, you might get what everybody's been crying for. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I am a CM Punk fan. I got pictures, autographed, title belts, but I really think they're gonna do Okada versus Punk. And
really,
I don't think I'm gonna like that.
I think it's gonna be Danielson.
Okada. I mean, it's just a great time to be a wrestling fan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like when you look at these matches that you never thought you were ever going to get in your life, it's crazy.
And it just keeps getting better. Who thought Brent Baker, you know what I'm saying, would be the status she is now? Whoever thought the Young Bucks would, you know what I'm saying, be EVPs of a wrestling promotion? when we were laughing them out of TNA as Generation Me.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just, like you said, it's a good time being wrestling. Tag team wrestling's coming back, man.
Yep.
I'm really, really loving it. Marvel or DC?
DC. Yeah, we're both more DC guys. When I grew up, like I always loved Superman, so I was a big Superman fan.
Mhm.
I had the when they came out with the gravestone headstone cover of Superman dies, Doomsday. I remember my dad taking me to the comic book store, and they had them in the black bags, and I got one of those, and it was like this big, huge moment. Like, that's the comic book that I always like think back to, of like that was me as a child. Like, whoa, like this was a big deal to me. So has to be DC. I was a big fan of Dark Horse comic books. I loved the Batman versus Predator because it was super duper violent.
Yes.
And as a kid, you know, you're like, you know, anything that's violent is cool when you were young, when you were that age. But even now, I think, you know, some of the stories, I prefer DC at this point.
No, I definitely get you. I think Marvel's on a run just because of the movies. We never had comic book movies have a run like this. And I think Kevin Feige was just talking about he's going to go plot the next 10 years of Marvel. And I'm like, do we have another? You can do that? No, he didn't even say 10 years. He said till 2032. So yeah, that's 10 years. He said till 2032 after CinemaCon or Cinecon, whatever that word is that I feel like they just made up.
Yeah.
That he was going on a retreat and they were plotting the next 10 years of Marvel.
Wouldn't that just be a great job?
Yeah.
When he's a comic fan, and I just keep thinking, when I think of things like you know what I'm saying, Motor City and stuff like that, it's like you're in this world with Guerrilla Publishing and other stuff where it's easy for something like this you're doing with the popularity of Creed and you know, other stuff like that, UFC, all that, wrestling. You could see a John Cena cast, you know what I'm saying, as one of your characters, and you know what I'm saying, the book actually coming to life. That's right around the corner because of the popularity of comic books right now. So hey, I'm all for it. I'm a Green Arrow stan, but I'm a Marvel fan. That's what I always say. That's really good. Last two questions.
All right.
This is kind of loaded.
All right.
And we're switching this up. I normally ask the same question. We're switching this up just because he said Okada. Best wrestling match you have ever seen?
Oh, that's easy for me. Very modern. Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes.
Okay.
That match. I don't know, what was that? Was that All Out? Double or not double? Was it Double or Nothing? All Out. That to me, it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the brother thing. I hate my brother too, so I get it. But I don't know. There was just something about that affected me on an emotional level that has never happened to me watching professional wrestling before. The only other one that I got that emotional watching was the Bayley Sasha Banks Iron Man match.
Oh yeah.
You can't choose when that happens. It just happens.
Right. And that's when you know it's good, is when it gets those emotions out of you. And you're like, to me anyway, like obviously like an Omega Okada, it's like that's a work of art in and of itself, because it's like, you know, this conflict, you know, it's like a true, it feels like a sport at that point where you're like, these two guys are just, you know, evenly matched. It's like a hockey playoffs going to game 7. It's Michael Jordan versus the Bad Boys. Like, it's just so good purely on a competition level. And then like Dylan says, I'm more of a sports entertainer fan, maybe, where like Hogan Andre, where you have that giant buildup and then it leads to the one moment that lives forever. I'm like, you know, that to me is absolutely phenomenal. So Hogan Andre for me, but I also really loved Walter versus Tyler Bate.
Walter versus Tyler Bate was so good.
Walter versus Tyler Bate, I thought was phenomenal. And then
was it Undisputed Era versus the Big Strong Boys?
Mustache Mountain. But then AEW, I feel like puts out my favorite match every week almost.
Right.
So
they seem I think they benefit from only having 4 pay-per-views a year, that they could just go all out on television shows. Because I'm telling you, the just this past Wednesday, the what's his name, the Sammy Scorpio match was way better than what I thought it was going to be. Everything, the women's division needs work, but it's getting better. You know what I'm saying? I think they have a real gem in Jade if they keep it going the right way. They got Hook is going to be if Hook is just amazing, and and then just to sprinkle in things like Danhausen, you know what I'm saying, different things like that. The Blackpool Combat Club, it's just they need a trios title. They have too many groups not to have a trios title. But then you have people in like the WWE, like Roman Reigns, going on this iconic run. That's really all I got for over there. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch.
They got Cody Rhodes now.
I hope they do him right. Cody deserves to be done right. He left. He did a lot what a lot of people did. McIntyre did the same thing. Left. You know what I'm saying? Built their status up. Came back. You can't deny the stars that they are. But over there, it's the bloodline. Like anytime you talk WWE, they're living and dying by what Roman is doing. So and the
era. That's the era where the era defying run right now is Roman and the bloodline.
It is insane. I don't know what I'm gonna do if the Usos get those other tag belts. I'm gonna be like, now I'm gonna want them to put a woman. I want to put Naomi in the stable. Let her get just let them run for the rest of the year with all the belts. Until somebody contract comes up. So how do you now I'm getting off track because I'm talking wrestling. What do you guys feel as far as Tony Khan as a promoter?
So far, so good. I mean, I think he's been doing really well. Like there's, putting together a wrestling show. We've done it. I mean, we on our YouTube channel, we do, like a little wrestling thing. And I just locally around Michigan and, kind of the tri-state area have been wrestling for a while. So to put together a show is so difficult. And, so there's going to be things that are wonky, and there's going to be things where you're like, I wish they would have did it this way, but they had to do it this way because somebody gets hurt because of this reason, that reason. And, but so far, I think he's been doing a great job. I mean, it's, a lot of it is just simple stories of, I think it was Paul Heyman in an interview said that wrestling isn't complicated. You take this guy and take this guy, and you're going to have them fight each other. And then you just got to tell people why they want to see these two guys fight each other. And I think that's what Tony Khan's doing. Wardlow doing his thing now.
Amazing. That story is so good.
Yeah, they listen to the crowd.
And I mean, MJF's feuds have been so good because they remind me of like the old days where it's like, man, is this bad guy ever gonna get his comeuppance? And they make you wait so long to see it. And I just think that when those moments happen, and then MJF obviously delivers, in those big moments, it's such a good release. It's like a comic book. You go through each issue as each episode, and then boom, you finally get that good blow off for the storyline, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Punk's been doing some of his best work story wise in the ring at AEW that I've ever seen. And it's crazy because every MJF feud to me feels like the same thing. You have to run through his stable to get to him. It's like playing Streets of Rage 1 through 4. You know what it's going to be, but it's fun to play it anyway.
Exactly.
And making himself a star, but at the same time, and like he says, he is a pillar of that company more than you know what I'm saying, some other people. Him and Britt Baker, and friggin' Sammy Guerrero are 3 of the pillars of that company. You can put Darby and Jungle Boy wherever you want to put them. You can just switch those 2 out whenever you want to. But watching him make stars, he's making Wardlow a star. He's making Wardlow feel important, and he can take losses and it doesn't hurt him at all. Now, the long story, like with Hangman coming back, being Omega, some of the best long-term storytelling that I have to say. They're dropping the ball with him as a champion, to be honest. I feel like I think they're doing a story where he's getting beat up so much that he's going to fail at some time. He's just not going to be able to overcome the odds. I really feel like Punk's getting that belt. I just feel like they're putting on him. They need it on him at his height. That whole nostalgia thing is going to wear off sooner or later. And it's going to end up being like, I don't know, maybe Punk and Omega. You know what I'm saying? When Omega comes back. And that's going to be the big payoff from that. But that's what I feel like I'm lacking from the WWE long-term storytelling, except for what happens with the bloodline.
Yeah.
And we see what happens with whatever they're finna do with Ali. I hope they don't screw him over.
Hopefully, we'll see what they do with him. Like,
because he's an incredible wrestler. Whatever they're finna do with Asuka, which she's one of the most decorated women in the WWE, but they just seem to use her to put people over now. Yeah. They don't do anything with their tag belts. They literally draw me in by Spectacle and Roman Reigns because I want to see who's facing Roman Reigns.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like I think it's hard nowadays to have that babyface champion because when Roman was a babyface, they hated him, they didn't like him, and then now he's a heel and everybody loves him. And like very rarely nowadays do you get that baby. And I mean, if you look at AEW, Jericho on top was, everybody liked that, and Omega on top. Yeah. So it's just, I think it's so hard to have. Moxley had a good run, but it's so hard nowadays to have a babyface champion like the old days, like where well, I mean, really only the WWE and WWF were the ones that had babyface champions. Yeah, because even
that's good. That's interesting.
The NWA, it was always Ric Flair. It was always, Harley Race. These guys that would cheat to keep the belt, and you wanted to see the good guy chase. And and really, the East Coast, New York, were the ones that Bruno, Hogan, that kind of thing. So.
Even Danielson's best run with the title was when he went heel. The heels are the best. Taker, Rock, you know what I'm saying? Triple H. Nobody wants to see Triple H as a face. No, it's like heels run the world. Britt Baker, what's her name? I always forget her name. People gonna kill me for this. The current women's champion in AEW.
Oh, AEW. Thunder Rosa.
AEW.
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Subpar run. You know what I'm saying so far.
Well, I don't think she's wrestled since she won the belt, and they had Britt Baker on TV every week.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with faces. Look at if Hangman turns heel, if Hangman's still running with the Elite, you know what I'm saying, as champion, he's having a better run than he is now. They don't care about him. They would rather see MJF as champion right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, like that's the unfortunate thing is like it's hard to be a babyface.
Yeah.
Well, look at Cody. They turned on him because it gets to a point where it's like, at a certain point, it's almost unrealistic. Like you've got to have an edge to you. I mean,
I think Hangman does have an edge though.
He fights. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I love Hangman.
Oh, big
so
Hangman
I don't know.
But no, he's amazing in the ring. Hangman is an athlete. I think they're botching his character a little bit. I think after he won, he should have got a little bit more edge to him. It's just like he won and he's like, oh, what else is there for me to do?
Right.
But
that's
just defend it.
Being a babyface champion.
There's nothing no longer for him to chase. I think that's why I like Rocky movies, because even when he was the champion, he was the underdog.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that's 100% it is Rocky in the first one. He just wants to be there, and it's him. He's the underdog, and you just want to see him survive, essentially.
Doesn't even win.
Right. And then the second one, okay, now it's time to win. And then the third one, they have to make him lose in order to make it a good, So I agree with you.
And then they figured it out in the Creed movies how to make him a winner. You know what I'm saying? But still keep the fight interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because he's fighting himself. It's cool. It's cool. Wrestling is dope. It's the best it's ever been, except for Impact at times. But they have no idea.
Look at Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, didn't he have the belt combined under 100 days?
Yeah, he only had it like 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
And
And then
you need to see him on top. You need to see him win.
Yeah. And then the one time he won the WWE belt, they took it from him because they said it was they restarted the match.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
they took it from him. So he never even got a chance to win the WWE championship.
Yep.
So that but that's the to Cody's story with letting him have some type of creative control, because that's going to mean something when he wins that title to have the fans behind him. But Cody has the perfect moment right now to have Hulk Hogan-ish heel turn, especially in the WWE. He's primed to do it.
Well, as the outsider, it's tailor made.
Yeah, definitely. But it just depends. It depends on what happens. You know what I'm saying? All right. Again, I want to thank you guys. Man, this has been amazing. Yo. I can literally sit here and talk to you guys for forever. And now I want to come to wrestling shows with you. I want. Sure. I have reasons to come to Detroit now.
Absolutely,
we're here.
Definitely. Anybody you want to shout out? You know what I'm saying? That's on the team. Like anybody in this photo?
Everybody.
Yeah. So right there, we've got. Kyle, of course, couldn't be here. He's busy taking care of his baby. Okay. Ryan Tavares. He's a fantastic artist out of Pontiac that we were super lucky to find. Shannon Esper, who did the letters and the colors. It's a super fantastic team.
Yeah, we really got lucky with the team. You know, obviously, me, Dylan, and Kyle, we wrote it, and then to see Ryan's art, Shannon put on, the colors, the lettering and everything else, and then the inks, and it's just crazy to see it all come together.
Definitely. I can't wait to get my hands on it. You know what I'm saying, to read it. Cool. Now I got to go find 1, 2, and 3. So
yeah.
You
can order them off of our website or see us at a Comic-Con.
I'm going to the website right now because I'm fully interested, because people like you that know that have that, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's the same thing with Julio. Like, I can sit down with Julio, we'll start talking about a Kickstarter, and next thing we know, we're 1980. This match happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Did you read that Batman comic book from 2001? Like, it just spurs on, man. But that's the beauty of this whole thing and about this fandom. And I can't wait to the point where it's like I'm sitting down with my daughter and we're talking about the Motor City, you know what I'm saying, book, and how dope it was, and the time I got to interview, you know what I'm saying, these guys. So go ahead and let the fans know how they can contact you on social media.
Well, 3 Wise Men Media, ThreeWiseMenMedia. That's how you're going to get to our YouTube channel. That's how you're going to get to basically all the social media links, everything like that. And then Guerrilla Publishing, you got to definitely check them out. That's where you'll probably get to the Kickstarter and everything else. And then you could always just Google Motor City Mo. It's a pretty unique name. Yeah. So we're usually one of the top Google searches there. But yeah, 3 Wise Men Media, Guerrilla Publishing, Motor City Mo. Check it all out. Hashtag 3YMM if you're on Instagram or YouTube.
3 Wise Men Media Wrestling Challenge.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going.
I might have to take that challenge. I don't know what it is, but I hear challenge and I'm like, yeah. So definitely, you guys can also find all of that content right down here at the bottom. Make sure you check out the Kickstarter. You know how we do here at A+ Hero Report. We kick it. You kick it. You show us that you kickstarted. We're into you in a raffle to win an Xbox Series S. All right, guys.
That's a great prize. How do I?
All right. I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys do next. And as always, guys, check out all the content on the channel. We should have some great reviews up. It should be new Halo reviews up. I'm pretty sure there's a Flash review up there somewhere if you guys are still watching the Flash. And be ready for the predictions for the next pay-per-view. Until next time, as always, I am Indy Uchiha for A+ Hero Report. We are out. Love you guys. See you later. Like, follow, and subscribe. We're out.